Felix Potvin? Do you like Felix Potvin? Well, if you don't, then get in line to fight me! Sorry, I'm just very passionate about my Felix, you know? TheLeafsNation.com is counting down the best Toronto Maple Leafs of all time at each position: left wing, center, right wing, defense, and goalie. So of course, Johnny Bower was one of the goalies named to the Leafs all-time team. Of course, Johnny Bower, Mr. Bower, is synonymous with the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know what he looked like when he was younger because of those black and white photos of him with the Stanley Cup. And you know what he looks like now because he's still alive and at every single Leaf event. There are some autographs in hockey that are really hard to get, and Johnny Bower's is not one of them. Hey, I just got Johnny Bower's autograph. Oh, cool. I got 19 at home. Would you like one? And of course, Curtis Joseph made the Leafs all-time team. Of course, heroics in the regular season and the playoffs. That guy swept the Sens like it was in his contract. The Leafs were supposed to lose to the Senators. They were the heavy underdogs against the Senators, and when it came to losing, Curtis Joseph was just like, nah, I don't really feel like it, nah. And Cujo, of course, borrowed his name from a famous dog. But the third goalie on the Leafs all-time team is the Cat. And the Leafs Nation had me do a video on Felix Potvin because they know he is bae to me. Like many Leaf fans whose first Leaf memories were in the early to mid-90s, Felix Potvin was my hero. Lots of people like Dave Anderchuk, and why not, scored a bunch of goals. Lots of people like Dougie Gilmour, his nickname was Killer, he hit people, he scored a bunch of goals. And then there's Wendell Clark, who was a really good hockey player, but let's face it, he has a leg up because he has a mustache. Felix Potvin also tried to go a mustache, and it was hideous, but he was so good that we ignored it. And it was hidden behind one of the most beautiful masks in NHL history. I will fight you if you disagree. Look at this, oh my goodness, oh, and who doesn't have this, by the way? I would love a replica of this. I would pay an unforgivable amount of money for a game-worn Felix Potvin mask. No, I wouldn't wear it to bed. Shut up, you're weird. Look, skaters, forwards, they score goals. They set up goals. They get to play the role of a hero. Goalies, and to me when I was a child, Felix Potvin was always the hero 20, 30, 40 times a game when he stopped the puck. It sucks because goalies don't really get the heroic accolades that goal scorers do. You score the game-winning goal, the game-winning overtime winner, and it's this one moment and the game is done and your team wins and you all celebrate. Sometimes we say it rhetorically, but there's no such thing as a game-winning save. Goalies don't get that moment. But the child me, I knew how important Felix was to the team. Look at this Pride of the Leafs poster, Sundin, Gilmour, but Potvin's in the middle! And while everyone else's heroes would not score every game, Felix Potvin was making saves on my television almost every time I turned it on. Or my parents turned it on. I didn't have those kind of privileges when I was a kid. He was a workhorse. Potvin had 4 66-plus game seasons as a member of the Leafs. He had another one as a member of the LA Kings, but I like to pretend he was never on another team. Like the Islanders, that never happened. The Canucks, who remembers Potvin on the Canucks? And I mean Potvin on the Boston Bruins. That did not happen. That man, this mask, was always there for the Leafs' good moments of the 90s. Of course, the Leafs weren't always good in the 90s, but that wasn't Felix's fault. He did his share and the team failed around him. Boy, does that sound familiar. James Reimer and Jonathan Bernier just sitting there sipping tea going, hey honey, come watch this video. Felix Potvin was an abandoned Leaf goalie who did more than his fair share before it was cool. He helped get the Leafs to not only the playoffs, but the conference finals. Between the 92-93 and 93-94 seasons, Potvin appeared in 39 playoff games. Just for reference, the Leafs have played 7 playoff games since I started making videos. And then there's, I mean, Leaf fans, you know the thing he did. Oh, you know the thing. I don't remember the score. I'm pretty sure the Leafs lost. I don't remember who started the fight. I'm pretty sure it was the Leafs. But remember when Potvin kicked Ron Hextall's ass? That was the talk of the school bus the next day. Oh, we couldn't stop talking about it, reenacting it on the bus, making those punch sound effects that all kids make. And then Hextall was coming in and Potvin was saying, no. Oh, it was the best. I miss him. And the Leafs teams of yesteryear, specifically the 93 team, oh, everyone likes talking about them. But the dirty little secret of those little teams that no Leaf fan really likes to admit is they would have been pretty bad without the help of a young goalie named Felix Potvin. Were there some names left off the list? Sure. Terry Sawchuk, Turk Broda is pretty surprising, not gonna lie. But you can't talk bad about my Felix. Don't worry, it's okay. What do you think? Is Felix Potvin one of the best Toronto Maple Leafs goalies of all time? That was rhetorical, of course he is, but you're welcome to be wrong in the comments.